honest. And a lot of these insane records from these Temur Transmogrify players, this was on that limited team, or on that huge team where they just crushed limited, you know? They did, I think it was something like 20-4, something like that, and got all the trophies, all the 3-0s were on this team, and then they had a lot of, good stuff happening in Standard. Explorer hasn't been the most amazing so far. Nathan, on the other hand, with this Rakdos deck, has been kind of making it look easy, just knows this deck upside down, left and right.
Out,
Yeah, and has been really crushing with it.
In the graveyard, out the graveyard, everything about the deck, Nathan has covered. As we take a look at the opening hands here, Karl wasn't happy with the first one, so Mold finds a Braid, as well as Fire Prophecy and the Careful Cultivation. So not terrible. Would like to find one of the Transmogrify effects.
Yep, absolutely. This would be the dream, being able to channel that Careful Cultivation and then just top deck Transmogrify. We do see Fatal Pushes in the hand from Nathan. We have Witch's Cat Oven, but one thing we don't have from Nathan is a second land.
Oh, yes, we did sure keep a one-lander there, but you know what? Just like with the mono blue deck, all you need is a cat in an oven and you are good to go.
Exactly. Problem solved and boom.
Land
easy.
number 2. Easy.
Easy game when you just have that second Blood Crypt right on top.
Corey, I have heard that in Magic the Gathering, if you just draw what you need, you will win.
I wish I could apply that to my game itself, but that hasn't been working for me so far. But.
Unlucky Witness on the stack before any sacks can happen. That's going to get abraded, so one oven dealt with, but here comes the cat as well as Unlucky Witness. Streets of Nuka Pen, a card that we don't see very often.
Yep, absolutely, and that play really did. When a Braid got cast on the Witch's Oven, that opened the door for Nathan to just be like, okay, there's no way you can Transmogrify me next turn, so I don't have to leave up Fatal Push. That's probably not going to be the case anymore because it is possible. We might see Nathan pretty much leave up 1 mana for the rest of the game, which he's successfully doing with the Deadly Dispute, sacrificing the Cauldron Familiar.
So, all right. Transmogrify is meant to beat Rakdos Sacrifice, but knowing the suite of cards that they run, how do they ever find a gap to resolve that?
Most of the time there's not a lot of things that can really stop the Transmogrify deck outside of Fatal Push. Nathan's list only plays 3 of those in the main, and then it is all just the Mayhem Devil. So if you don't see Mayhem Devil, the odds are they do not have a Fatal Push. But the one thing that we might see is, whenever Nathan doesn't have a treasure, doesn't have an artifact to sacrifice, which admittedly, is kind of rare because we do see it quite often, then Fatal Push is at least not online, and maybe you can sacrifice Azeka's Chariot instead. But I'm kind of with you. It hasn't looked even that amazing in the matchup that it's supposed to be very good against.
Yeah. Plenty of options here for Nathan, courtesy of the sacrifice to the Dispute. Drew some cards, got a treasure, Croxa Titan from Death's Hunger. It's going to hit the battlefield here and force a discard. And we're going to see the Titan of Industry get chucked unwittingly into the bin. A couple of Fire Prophecies could send it back, but not right now.
Yep, that's a tough one to be able to naturally cast here. You do have 4 mana, and then the Azeka's Chariot can copy the channeled 1/1, and at least start kind of ramping. That's kind of a cute interaction. But
he drew another.
Oh no, yeah.
Excuse
Only 1
me,
left
Titans.
in the deck? That's a big deal, but these Fire Prophecies can put them at the bottom.
Yeah, if they resolve. If there's another oven that decides to make its presence known, then it might be a little difficult to get a targeted Fire Prophecy on one of these creatures. But here we're going to see a Fatal Push take care of the Chariot, you've got to think here. Or are we just going after... Ah, nice. We're just going after the target here for the Chariot and not letting it get full value.
Yeah, I guess we've seen this play from Nathan before, just not really worried about Azeka's Chariot in general. Just being able to block with Cauldron Familiar, being able to sack it to the oven and stuff just ends up being pretty strong. And depending on how many cards we have in graveyard, that Croxa's lit up.
Live.
Yeah, that is an amazing card. Only a 1-of from Nathan, but
that's
you only
tough to
need
kill.
1. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, so tough to kill, and just an excellent clock putting pressure, forcing discard, and I think we're going to see Yorion. Oh no, we're going to keep Yorion around because yeah, we're going to probably need some blocking power here.
Yeah, exactly.
Very
Just
shortly.
Yorion blink. Oh, that's the
come
third
on.
one. I suppose we did put one of them at the bottom, but we didn't shuffle. So right now, if we click on Karl's deck, the bottom card is the last Titan, which is pretty frustrating.
I mean, I got frustrated there. I'm not even playing the game.
Exactly.
Here comes Kroxa, and we're going to see the Titan get sent to the bin. Yorion Sky Nomads hanging around. Kitty Cat is just going to do some chub blocking here.
Man, just
scratch him a little bit around the ankles.
Just
Titans have
looking.
ankles, right?
Yeah, I would think so. I
Yeah.
would think so.
Oh,
Absolutely.
hello. Mayhem Devil and some steely spells. Ooh, goody.
Yeah,
Claim the firstborn.
Nathan's hand is great. Karl's hand is not. And now it just really is going to come down to, I believe, just exactly the next draw. I mean, we can just, Mayhem Devil now. You can sack the treasure. You can sack the blood. So it doesn't really matter. That was actually a pretty strong draw here.
Oh, I mean, it would be great if it would resolve.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
see a village rights there in hand to
Exactly.
sacrifice whatever gets stolen.
But it at least is a removal spell that could
Yeah.
kill Kroxa, that could kill Mayhem Devil, where, you know, really nothing else in Karl's deck is going to do it. It's not amazing. It's just to not die right now.
Yeah. Step 1, survive. And then we'll figure out where we're going from there. Now, let's see if Nathan cares enough to village rights this away. And doesn't. So now we have Kroxa on this side of the battlefield.
For 1 second, I
For
believe it is
a
going
hot
to get
second,
claimed right back.
Oh yeah, because he's 2 mana.
Yeah.
You think, oh, I'm a big 6/6. No, sir, you are still targetable by claiming the firstborn.
So this is going to be excellent. Claim on Kroxa, attack, make sure Yorion gets discarded.
Mm-hmm.
That's going
Oh,
to...
that's so gross.
That 2/2 can get in the way of Kroxa.
Yeah.
Then we still have 4 damage. Karl goes down to 10. You could sacrifice those 2 artifacts. 8 is probably not lethal, but worst case scenario, you take the Kroxa back,
Yeah.
village right it, so a Crowan War doesn't keep it for a while. And then chapter 2 of a Crowan War is like, hey, you have to attack him. Like Nathan's like, yeah, I was gonna.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you're just encouraging me. It's like sitting on the sidelines going, Kroxa, or Mayhem Devil in this instance. But yeah, there is also the option for the Unlucky Witness to, you know, maybe he's feeling a little lucky. We're in Las Vegas, you know, Unlucky Witness, dump that down on the board. Village rides that, see what's on top of the deck. Potentially.
Potentially, so we could just see... Okay, actually, my math is wrong here, because you can, of course, kill the cat first and then attack with Kroxa. That is going to be 9-10 damage, so now we only have to get 4 damage through.
Unlucky Witness.
Village Rights is representing 2. So right now, Karl is at 2 life, so if Village Rights can find some way, like an oven or something like that, this is just game.
Snack sack, is there a way to get Kroxa back?
Yeah,
Not
or if
right
we have
now.
enough cards in Graveyard where Kroxa can just come back, then that's just probably
Land?
GG. Which is oven.
Hey, there's
GG.
an oven. Yeah, we're good. Kitty cat munch, etc., etc. Cat's ovens doing cat oven things with Mayhem Devil. You're not going to beat that, unfortunately, for Karl Sarap. So let's go into sideboard. What does this Temur deck have to do to beat Rakdos, Corey?
You know, I'm drawing a blank so far.
Did we get debated?
We might have. We absolutely might have. I mean, you want to bring in removal spells for Mayhem Devil. That's the most
Yeah.
important card. But we have seen these Temur Transmogrify decks when they over sideboard and they just draw hands with just a bunch of removal spells. All of a sudden, they're kind of playing the Rakdos Sacrifices game plan.
Yeah.
Like, Rakdos Sacrifice doesn't really care if you're just killing all their creatures. They come back, you know? But you also have to make sure you're still doing your proactive, powerful game plan, which is to Transmogrify or Luca your creatures. So you got to find that mix.
Yeah. I wonder if we would have seen the village rights on the Mayhem Devil if that was the target of a Crowan War. I think we would have.
Yeah, I guess.
Because Kroxa couldn't have been... Oh, no, it still would have been stolen back. Never mind.
Yeah, you still claim it back, so no
Yeah.
matter what, I think you still would do that. But if Nathan didn't have claim in hand, you have to village,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So you can't just hope that you're going to top deck it.
Yeah, I know.
And that'd be a bit of a different game plan here. But now, more than likely, from Nathan, those claim the firstborns are probably coming out.
It'll be interesting to see how he sideboarded against this Temur deck. going into game number 2 here, round 11. Nathan Steuer and Karl Sarap both have had an excellent start to their tournament, now halfway through it. So looking for that 11 wins. That is the magic number to lock yourself in for day number 3. Opening hand. This is great.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't complain about this one. You got the 2 lands. You do need one more to really get it going. But yeah, perfectly reasonable hand. Wow, that duress is going to be huge if that's fired off. You can take that careful cultivation, and now all of a sudden, Karl needs land number 3 in 2 turns if the careful cultivation is taken here. Some argument for a braid as well, since Nathan does have Mayhem Devil, so I think it's probably one of those 2.
Yeah, so what do you value here? Do you want to stop your opponent doing what they're doing, or keep your stuff alive? Because I've got to tell you, Mayhem Devil, between the cat and the oven, the Mayhem Devil, like, that's just MVPs right there. Yeah,
absolutely. We don't have the Witch's Oven at least to really take it over the top, but other than that, you know, even just going Blood Tithe Harvester into Mayhem Devil is also a nice little piece of synergies. You get to kill a 2/2, plus you can ping a 1/1 by sacrificing it. Big draw step there with the Steam Vents.
So there's land number 3 for Karl Sarap. And his hand is entirely known, barring the new draw for the turn. So Nathan is now allowed to just play knowing full well what Karl is going to attempt to do here. So working with perfect information.
Yeah, and Nathan made a nice, interesting take with the duress, taking Fable the Mirror Breaker, just saying, you know what, you got a lot of lands, you're probably going to draw out of it. I'm not going to try to just be like, take that card, and then when you draw a land, be like, wow, so lucky, you know? Just taking, you know, one of the best cards in the deck, Fable the Mirror Breaker.
Spell Pierce off the top here for Karl now. He's going to shock in that land, keeping up the Abrade as well as the Spell Pierce. There's a Deadly Dispute, the only target currently for the Spell Pierce. But Blood Tithe Harvester and Mayhem Devil to follow this cat, you got to think that Nathan is feeling pretty good at this position.
Yeah, Spell Pierce also just a really situational card in this matchup. You know, if you get a Deadly Dispute on turn 2, you know, where they sacrifice something, it's a blowout. It really is. But outside of that, it doesn't get too insane. But as I say that, it looks like Nathan is going to go for it and walk right into a Spell Pierce.
Okay, Deadly Disputes and no cat. No cards, no nothing. And Karl is very happy about that.
And I think Nathan totally just went for that like main phase because he very much thought Karl was going to take that out. You know, otherwise you would want to wait a little bit, especially when you already had a 3rd land to make. So I think that was just really Nathan being like, there's no way you left that in, I'm going for it. But now all of a sudden it's looking very bad for Nathan.
Oh yeah, you got to risk it for the biscuit sometimes, and unfortunately the cookie crumbled, and that'll be the extent of my pastry puns for now, as Eska's Chariot is going to crew up the kitty cat and get in here for 4 points of damage, create a cat. And are we going to see... Oh, we're just going... Yeah, we're just going for it. Oh, we're going to make copies of the Titan tokens, perhaps? No, we're going to make copies of the cat car. We're going to kill the cat car.
Kill the cat car, just playing around Fatal Push. There's nothing that can be done there.
That's true.
Didn't even want to attack with it first. Didn't even want to attack with it first. It's just that powerful. Jeez. And yeah,
hey, we got to see a Transmogrify into a Titan. Well, almost. Actually, we didn't. Come on.
Yeah, no kidding. They took that away from us. So, yeah, absolutely.
What does he do? Anyway.
But those are, you know, kind of what this deck is supposed to be doing up against Rakdos Sack is when you resolve that Luca or when you resolve that Transmogrify, there's no coming back. If the board is at parity, you know, if Nathan is super far ahead, he can still, of course, come back and win. But if Nathan is behind or even, it is going to be far too hard to beat a Titan of Industry.
Yeah. Well, a far closer battle between these two decks at this point, which I am happy to see. So Temur Transmogrify doing what it's meant to do here.
Yep.
So let's go.
And we saw that huge reaction from Jakob Toth last round when Jakob picked up that 9th win. So really knows, like, you know, how important that 9th win is at putting him in position to make that Sunday tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Nathan is fighting for that 9th win as well. And Karl looking to pick up the 8th win so he doesn't have to basically start to get to a position where he has to win out. Yeah.
Thoughtseize to start. Oh, that's every black player's dream. Just
yeah.
being like, oh, lovely. I get to see exactly what you're working with. That's a very good hand you kept. I'm sorry, I'm going to mess with it now. This Fable the Mirror Breaker once again is taken there. Karl Sarap's going to start things off here. Looks like with a Steam Vents and no damage to face. Thank you very much.
Really good hand from Karl here. Just kind of
Yeah.
has everything. Great interaction, acceleration, card draw, and a very weak hand from Nathan.
Yeah, it's not great.
3 more land, Mayhem Devil. I definitely think it's a keep as well, but it's the lower end of the keep on the play. And oh no.
Listen here, Lance.
I know we're in Vegas and 4 of a kind is pretty good, but not when it's 4 pathways here.
Mayhem Devil on the board, but you know what? It might still be enough for Karl to panic just a little bit, and we don't even see the Ether Gust fired off there. He's quite happy just to carry on doing what he's doing.
Ooh, there it is! There it is! Turn 3, Titan of Industry is on the battlefield.
Baby! Let's go! That's what we want to see from this deck, Titan of Industry. Okay, Nathan, with 4 lands in hand, your go. What are you going to do about this?
Bang! There
Woo!
it is. This is exactly what the deck is supposed to be doing. The turn 3.
Yes.
Well, turn 3 put 11 power into play if Karl so chooses. Gain some life. Probably getting a shield counter on Titan of Industry, or even the 4/4. It is, or I guess, sorry, you do have to put it on the Titan itself, but Titan of Industry is extremely, excuse me, it does come in that way, but Titan is extremely difficult to kill. And
That's going to do it. That's what I wanted to see. All right, now I believe.
okay, same.
Karl, you've made a believer out of me, and that's going to improve his record to 8.